Think strength alone will fix your injury? What if I told you that working and focusing only on strength actually may be holding you back with your injury recovery? Well, in today's video, we are going to be talking about this common debate. We're going to be going over the essential roles that both strength and mobility play within rehab and how combining them both will actually lead to optimal results and long-lasting progress. So let's start this video off by talking about a couple of myths that you may or may not share, or preconceived beliefs that you've probably definitely heard within this industry that are very common. Apologies if I look down to my laptop, guys, for a couple of notes. I hate reading off a script. A lot of people try, script. A lot of people try to read off a teleprompter. I've tried that. I've tried to have a script. It feels horrible for me. It feels very unnatural. Feel like robotic. I can't actually get the words out that I'm reading that I want to say. It's a no-go. So if I look down to the laptop for a couple of notes, just to keep me on topic, because I do like to chat, hence you've just seen me go off topic now, but yeah, I do like to chat and we will sort of go off topic a couple of times. But the first myth that we're going to talk about is a very common one, that all you need within your rehab is just strength work. There's a common saying that is, you can't go wrong with getting strong. Now, this is a staple. Strength work within your injury rehab is a staple. It's a must-have within your work. But we need this, like within all very good rehab plans, we need a combination of all of them. We need strength work. We need endurance. We need conditioning. We need plyometrics. We need balance work. We need stability work. And we definitely need mobility. So strength alone is not initially going to help you to recover from everything. It's like what it has done and what it can do is just doing strength work alone can feel you restrict range of motion. It can make certain movements feel very stuck and very rigid. An example and analogy that I use for this is, imagine you're trying to drive your car and the handbrake is down. You're just not going to be moving freely at all. So that's what just doing strength work can lead to. So we need a combination of what strength is and what mobility is. And people just think what mobility is just this fancy word, or they just think it's a fancy word for what flexibility is. Mobility, okay, is your body's control. It's all about how much control it has. It's your body's ability to actively move through a joint through its full range of motion. And this is the foundation of what injury rehab or injury resilience is. We need to be able to access certain ranges of motion to express our strength. So where a lot of people go wrong with what mobility and flexibility is. Flexibility is your joint's access to its full range of motion. So it's how much full range of motion your joint has. So I'm just going to extend my elbow out to the side. That is maximal flexibility within this certain thing. I can't go any further within this movement because I hit a hard end feel where my elbows go bone on bone. So I can't go any further because I will damage myself. Mobility is how much control I have of this flexibility. So how much control I have within my full range of motion. So some people might only be able to, they might have full flexibility of their elbow, but due to a number of reasons and thinking, they might only be able to get to a certain range there being strong. Or if they get there, it's very painful, it's very weak, it's just not a nice area for them to go to. So that would mean that their elbow mobility is lacking. They might have really good elbow flexibility, but their elbow mobility is down. So without mobility, even the strongest muscles can't keep you pain-free. So we need a combination of both. So why does mobility matter? Mobility matters because it is crucial. It helps to restore joint function and joint health. So instead of moving around an injury or feeling tight or feeling restricted, you're able to unlock pain-free movement. And this is a game changer, especially if you've been sidelined with an injury. So mobility training, it retrains your body in the way it's supposed to move, which then in turn actually sets you up for the strength work that you need to complete. So as an example, we go into your session, you're struggling with a hamstring injury. You might not be able to access certain ranges of motion with this hamstring. And we all know that we need to be able to strengthen muscles in their full range of motion. In order to us to either get the most hypertrophy or the most strength or whatever, we need this hamstring's ability, especially if you're an athlete, to be able to access the full range of motion that it has. If you've got a very restricted and very tight hamstring, you're going to be weak. You're not going to be able to run powerfully. You're not going to be able to maximally get your strides efficiently and effectively. your strength and weakness is just going to be down. So then, therefore, we can't actually maximize the amount of strength work that we can do with our hamstrings. So mobility really does matter when it comes to rehabbing an injury or just in general strength training. But then why does strength matter? Exactly what I've just said there. We need that strength work to be able to be strong, quick, agile, powerful within all of our athletic performance movements or just in everyday life. It's all well and good just doing all the flexibility and mobility work that you have. But then if you don't actually reinforce it or make do of what that work that you've done and build strength upon that, then we're just going to be very fragile. Okay. We can have all the range of motion that we need, but we need to be able to be strong and controlled within that range of motion. So once you have that mobility base, for example, we'll go back to this elbow. Once I've got the ability to be able to fully extend my elbow, I need to control and build strength around this joint. Okay, I need my biceps to be strong because they cross the elbow joint. I need my triceps to be strong because they cross the elbow joint. I need all of my elbow extensors and elbow flexors. I know I'm using a lot of fancy words here for you guys, so I'll try and keep it to layman's terms. But I need all of the muscles around this elbow joint, okay, to be strong now, to reinforce this joint, to protect it from further injury. And that could be one of the reasons why I injured it in the first place. It could be the fact that I have got all the flexibility I need, but at this end range, I'm not strong at all. So we need this strength to build support around these joints and help to distribute force evenly and effectively, and this will help prevent future injuries. Okay, so another analogy. I know I like to use a lot of analogies and examples here, but it's like building a strong foundation. Mobility lays the base, it lays the ground, and strength work solidifies it. So the question on top of your mind right now is how can we integrate both strength work and mobility work together within the same program or plan, whether it is rehabbing an injury or just general physical preparation fitness program? How can we integrate both of them successfully together? So think of it as layering, especially if you do bake out there. The reason why I'm laughing right now is the other day I baked some cookies, oatmeal cookies. The first batch came out horrific, like just a crumbling mess. They just spread all over there. It was like I was making a tray baked cookie rather than actually cookies. But the second batch I redeemed myself, so I'm quite happy with that. I know where I went wrong. I implemented it. I successfully made them. But yeah, think of it as layering a cake. When you're making a cake, you have to put the first initial ingredients in. If you don't put those in, you can't actually layer it with the top of the other ingredients that you need. It's just not going to go well. So think of it. We need to incorporate our mobility drills first that don't include heavy load. So you're able to regain that range of motion and you're not just exhausting your system out, but you're regaining that range of motion, so you're able to, with your strength work later on, to load up heavy within those movements that were once restricted at the beginning of the session, but now have freed up a little bit, so you can now strengthen them up within that increased range of motion. So, for example, if we're talking about a knee injury, at the beginning of the session, you're not warm, you're not primed for your session, so you might be struggling with a bit of knee tightness, hamstring tightness, calf tightness, tightness within the knee joint itself, within the capsule itself. So you do your mobility drills at the beginning of the session to enhance that range of motion, to increase it. So now we have access to that full range of motion. The strength work that you do at the end of your session will make you stronger at that end range of motion where you are tight, weak, etc. So it's all about sort of layering it. We'll do our movement prep, our mobility work at the beginning, so then we can add our controlled strength exercises later on in the session to be able to maximize what we have just regained. So an example, if you are, like I said, using that knee injury as an example, at the beginning of the session, we might do some banded TKEs to get the muscles primed and ready. And then what we might do is do some squats where we are focusing on controlled depth rather than loading it up really heavy. So, for example, do our banded TKEs, do some bridge work to get our hamstrings working and engaged for the session ahead. And then what we might do is some deep goblet squat holds or ankle rock back. I'm going to add a couple of these exercises on the screen, but a couple of ankle rock backs just to get those their ankle mobility going, the knee mobility going, so both of them are feeling mobile and primed. And then if we are starting our session off with a barbell squat, we might go to the squat rack, Just get the barbell, and we might just start pumping, doing a little couple of squats where we are controlling the depth of the squat on each rep rather than putting weight on the bar. So my knees and everything like that is really engaged, they're really warmed up and primed, and I might just start squatting down even further and just trying to increase that range of motion. So then when I do my strength work, I'm able to strengthen up that extra range of motion that I've just regained. So to wrap this video up, balancing mobility and strength is not just for injury recovery. It's what also keeps us moving well, fluid, and efficiently in the long run. And the biggest takeaway that I want you to remember from this video is that you're not just picking one or the other. It's not just about getting strong. It's not just about placing heavy load on a barbell and squatting it for the life of you and trying to 1 PR, etc. You've probably seen all those people in the gym that load up heavy either on a barbell squat or the leg press, and their range of motion is minimal. They're not getting strong and they're not getting that full range of motion that they need to get the most out of their body. So think of it, you're not just picking one or the other. It's two sides of the same coin. So hopefully after watching this video, you know exactly what your body needs and how to integrate successfully both mobility and strength work within your own plan. If you still are struggling with that, or you don't know how to do it, or you need a mobility plan to be able to give you the guidance and structure and also accountability that you need, make sure to check out the mobility guide within the description of this video, and I'll see you on the next video, guys.